From the White House to Area 51, here are some of the most heavily guarded places in the world. Number 10. Bold Lane Car Park. Bold Lane is a street in Derby, England known to have perhaps the most secure car park in the world, which wasn't always the case. First opened in 1974, the Bold Lane Car Park operated normally for some time before it went downhill in the 90s, with beggars, drug abuse, and muggings being the order of the day. In 1997, for instance, over 160 cases of criminal activities were reported. This in turn called for a major turning point. That same year, the Derby County Council decided to bring in Parksafe Systems, the company that runs the car park to this very day. Parksafe implemented several safety measurements that have since kept the park on the list of the most secure buildings in the world. Important to the car park security is the control room operator who monitors the whole place using CCTV cameras and a computerized map of the building. And in case there is anything remotely suspect, the operators can simply close all the exit points before the situation escalates any further. At the entry point, a driver is issued with a ticket that's tied to a specific parking bay inside the building. The ticket is what the driver will use later on to access the building when they return to pick their car. The ticket also activates a motion sensor below the car, which will send an alert in case a car owner tries to drive away before the ticket is marked as paid. Number 9. The White House. As the official residence of one of the most powerful people on the planet, the security of the White House is something that's treated seriously. Now, of course, much of the security measures are classified, but a few are luckily available. For starters, there's the fence, which of course isn't your usual enclosure. It's actually about 11 feet tall and well equipped with several anti-climb mechanisms, like spikes and intrusion detectors that alert the Secret Service of anyone nosing around. But if for some reason the fence fails to work, the inside area is fitted with what's referred to as perimeters of protection. These consist of infrared sensors and alarms that will go off in case of any disturbances. If you can successfully breach this, then you'll have to deal with armed and hidden agents that man the area around the building. Just how many of these you'll find is hard to tell since the Secret Service keeps the information classified. More agents hang out on the roof and feature some of the best snipers in the entire world. That is, according to the Secret Service. Also, according to the Secret Service, they have to prove their skills every month by hitting targets from 1,000 yards, which is equivalent to about 3,000 feet. So yeah, they're ready for you. Number 8. The Korean Demilitarized Zone. Lying between South and North Korea, the Korean Demilitarized Zone was established in 1953 at the end of the Korean War. Now initially, it served as the negotiation grounds for the ending of the war, but has since grown into an important meeting point for representatives from the two countries. Any thorny issues that have arisen since then have been solved at this zone, specifically at a place called the Joint Security Area, or the JSA. The JSA is found on the western coast of the peninsula and features several conference rooms where the talks take place. Also within this area is the Bridge of No Return used for prisoner exchange, although that hasn't happened since at least 1968. The zone itself is 60 miles long and 2.5 miles wide. It slices the Korean peninsula into two almost equal parts, and while it is called demilitarized, it's one of the borders in the world with the most military presence, ironically enough. Both countries have their troops around the area, but North Korea took the extreme route as far as keeping watch is concerned. Their entire operation is to stop any possible invasions from the southern counterparts, and they're really committed to this. According to some reports, Kim and his boys could bombard the South Korean capital with roughly 10,000 rounds every minute in the event of a conflict. Number 7. Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Kind of a weird option here after going over an entire country and also the White House, but yes, banks will generally have rigorous security measures in place for obvious reasons. All the money and valuables are pretty enticing. But as the largest stockpile of gold in the world, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York has to be even more watchful. This is because the risks here are magnitudes compared to what you'll expect for an average bank. Established in 1914, the Federal Reserve Bank stores some 550,000 gold bars, of which only 5% are owned by the US government. Getting into the bank alone is impossible, let alone reaching these gold bars, which are stored about 80 feet street level. Like at any other similar facility, armed guards are always on the lookout for anything that might appear suspect. Also, the reserve's exterior security is further assured by surveillance cameras and motion sensors that ensure nothing out of the ordinary goes unnoticed. The vault itself is sealed by a 90-ton steel cylinder that locks out basically everything, including air and water. Rumor has it that you'll be dead in the next 72 hours if you somehow manage to get locked in the vault. Additionally, it takes at least 3 people to open the various locks, so there will never be just one person down there. Number 6. The Bank of England Vault. Much like its Federal Reserve counterpart, the Bank of England's vault is used to store gold. Lots of it, in fact. It's the second largest gold depository, holding roughly 400,000 bars of the precious metal, with the majority of them belonging to other countries. Unlike the other highly guarded places in our video, security measures at the Bank of England vault are hard to come by, but a few are known, like 3-foot keys and a voice recognition system. The vault is apparently also bomb-proof, which is why it was used as a safe haven for bank staff during World War II. Whatever the measures are, it's pretty clear that they work given the fact that no one has ever even made a robbery attempt. However, that doesn't mean the vault has always been secure. You might have seen this story on the internet, but let me tell you it again anyway. In 1836, the Bank of England directors received several letters from someone who claimed to have access to the vault and offered to meet them in the vault at the time of their choosing. True to the sender's words, he turned up on the night the directors agreed, emerging from the vault's bottom. As it turns out, the guy was a sewer man who had discovered an old drain right under the gold stash during one of his repairs. For this revelation, he was awarded £800, which is the equivalent to £90,000 or $120,000 in today's currency. No good deed should go unrewarded. Number 5. Area 51. Built in a dry lake bed in the Nevada desert, Area 51 remains mysterious despite being around for over 6 decades. During much of the period, the US government seemed really committed to keeping the site's existence under wraps until just recently in 2013. This changed because the CIA finally acknowledged that indeed there was such a facility. Apparently, it was built back in 1955 during the Cold War and played an important role in developing and testing aircraft. The war is over, but Area 51 is still used for the same purposes to this day, at least as per what the US government has been willing to disclose. Entry here for non-employees is prohibited, so there's no way of independently verifying these claims. Electronic surveillance warning signs to keep off and armed guards are available to enforce this on top of a prohibition of flying above the area. The extreme secrecy has made Area 51 a subject of conspiracy theories over the years, with some believing that the facility is actually used to study aliens. Some conspiracy theorists even go as far as claiming to have seen UFOs flying near and above the military outpost. Number 4. North Sentinel Island. The Indian North Sentinel Island doesn't have armed guards or high-tech security gadgets like the other places in this video. It's actually the native inhabitants, known as the Sentinelese, who seem to be the ones keeping out foreigners. Anyone who lands on the island from outside is promptly executed, a mode of operation that has kept the natives away from civilization as we know it. This also means that not much information is available to the outside world about the people on the island. In the interest of letting the Sentinelese be, the Indian government has outlawed visits to the island, and the closest anyone is allowed is about 3 miles. Number 3. ADX Florence Prison. Prisoners are generally well guarded with all the watchtowers and armed guards, but the ADX Florence Prison in Colorado takes securing to a whole new level. Each of the 332 prisoners is locked up in solitary confinement, stays 23 hours per day in his cell, and is under watch 24/7. Away from the cells, the prison grounds feature 12-foot-high razor wire, 1,400 remote-controlled doors, motion detectors, and cameras. The area just outside the prison, on the other hand, has attack dogs that keep watch, pressure pads, and laser beams that add an extra layer of security to the already well-fortified facility. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber, so if you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it on over to us. Might even feature it in a future video. With that said, number 2. Fort Knox Bullion Depository. Aside from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, the Fort Knox Bullion Depository is another site that holds a substantial amount of gold. This also means there are some serious safety measures you'll have to go through before you even access the vault. If you're lucky enough, that is. Obviously, there are highly trained and armed guards who will definitely take out any threat as soon as possible by any means necessary. Beyond that, reaching the building itself is a bit impossible, as the area immediately after the fence is fitted with razor wire and minefields. And in the unlikely event that you can maneuver past these, microphones and powerful high-resolution night cameras around the grounds will definitely get you. The actual vault is filled with a 20-ton drill-resistant steel door, whose combinations are spread among different members of the depository staff. But even with the right combination, it's only going to open after about 100 hours. Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually subscribed. Come on guys, what's up with that? Can you guys please hit the subscribe button? You guys watch my videos every day anyway, so you might as well subscribe and keep up to date with every video we put out. Number 1. Granite Mountain Records Vault. The Granite Mountain Record Vault in Utah was launched in 1968, drawing inspiration from the nearby Mormon church storage launched 4 years earlier. According to Perpetual Storage, the company that operates the vault, business wasn't forthcoming at first. In fact, pretty much most of the 70s was about struggling to stay afloat with the space remaining empty for the most part. However, things did turn around with the widespread adoption of computers as more companies started to seek safe, indestructible places to store their electronic records. The Granite Mountain Vault turned out to be the best place for this. According to the company, the vault is well fortified, not just against human destruction, but also from natural influences like earthquakes and floods, given its location in a granite mountain. Additionally, Perpetual Storage has taken other important security protocols that greatly minimize the possibility of intrusion by unwanted persons. For starters, you have the usual armed guards with metal detectors, as the metal gates ensuring no sinister object gets in. Additionally, there are surveillance cameras that specifically zoom in on the license plates of the cars that drive into the facility. Getting into the vault itself means going through a 6-ton door that can withstand a nuclear blast. At least, apparently. Past that, the tunnel is equipped with infrared, heat, and motion detectors ready to send out any signs of unwanted intrusion. And if you're thinking of sneaking in from below, you might as well drop that idea. Thanks to seismic sensors, any underground drilling around the vault will be discovered way before you make any progress. And then the mole people will get you. Probably. And that's our video for today, folks. I do hope you enjoyed it. What was your favorite facility, and do you know of any other heavily guarded ones? If you do, let us know in the comment section down below. And with all that said and done, that's our video for today, folks, and I will see you all next time. Later, everybody.